All right, let's talk about a feeling that so many of us have today, the feeling that the game is rigged, that all the good opportunities are gone. We're going to crack open a book that's over 100 years old to see if it holds the key to breaking that mindset.
You ever feel like you were just born too late? You know, that all the real wealth, all the big chances were snapped up by huge corporations a long time ago, and now all that's left for the rest of us are the leftovers. It's a really common feeling, but what if that entire idea is just flat out wrong? So, the book we're looking at tackles this question right from the start. Are people poor because a handful of others have basically built a giant fence around all the wealth? The answer it gives, well, it might just change how you see things.
Look, the book is really direct here. It's not pretending that every single door is open to you. Let's be real. You probably can't go out and buy a major railroad company tomorrow. That opportunity is cornered. But here's the key idea. Just because one door is locked, that doesn't mean the whole building is sealed shut. There are always other channels.
So, if some doors are closed, where are the open ones? Well, the author Wattles, he uses this amazing metaphor. He says opportunity is like the tide. It's not some limited resource that gets used up. It's a current, and that current is always shifting, moving towards whatever's new.
Let's just step back to 1910 for a second to see what he meant. Back then, the steam railways were the absolute giants, kind of like big tech is for us now. And his advice? Don't even try to compete with them. Instead, look to the new frontier. And what was that? Aerial transportation. I mean, think about that. He was basically telling people to get into the airline industry when it was barely even a thing. Same with the giant steel trust versus focusing on new methods of farming. He was showing people how to spot where the tide was going next.
And that right there is the whole strategy in a nutshell. Trying to fight the established giants is like trying to swim against a powerful current. You're just going to get exhausted and go nowhere. The real path to getting rich is to figure out where that new tide is flowing. What are the new technologies, the new needs, and just go with it.
Okay, so if opportunity is always moving and changing, what's it actually made of? This is where we get to the really big, almost sci-fi idea at the heart of this book. What if the raw material for everything, for every car, every house, every piece of tech, all of it, what if that raw material is actually infinite?
Wattles has a few names for it. Formless stuff, original substance. Basically, it's this idea that there's a universal thinking energy that everything you see is made from. It's like the universe's raw clay. And here's the most important part. There's no end to it. It is inexhaustible. Just to give you a sense of the scale he's talking about, the book claims we could make 10,000 times more stuff than has ever existed, and we still wouldn't have even made a dent in the supply. I mean, an idea like that, it just completely demolishes the whole concept of scarcity, doesn't it? And this is the bottom line. No one is kept poor because there isn't enough stuff to go around. No one is struggling because nature is poor. According to this way of thinking, scarcity is a total illusion. The universe we live in is fundamentally, wildly abundant.
Okay, so if there's this endless supply of cosmic clay, how do we shape it? What's the tool we use to turn all that formless potential into actual tangible things we can use? The answer is incredibly simple. It's something you're using right this very second.
This is it. This is the first principle. The number one creative power in the universe isn't hard labor, it's not money, it's not resources, it's thought. A thought of a thing, held in this thinking substance, literally creates the thing.
The whole process really just boils down to these three simple ideas. Number one, the raw material is everywhere and it's infinite. Number two, a thought is what gives that raw material its shape. And number three, you. You are a thinking center. You can impress your thoughts onto this substance and cause the things you think about to be created. It's not magic. It's presented as a formula.
So let's pull this philosophy out of 1910 and drop it right into today. How does this whole idea of a competitive mind versus a creative mind actually play out in the world we live in right now? Okay, check this out. The competitive mind looks at big tech and says, that's it, it's over, they own everything. The creative mind sees the tide shifting. It looks at the new AI tools that big tech itself created and asks, how can I use this to build a super specific service that they're too big and slow to even think about? Or the competitive mind complains that big box stores destroyed local shops. The creative mind says, okay, that tide has moved online, so I'll start a brand that sells directly to a passionate online community that those giant stores totally ignore. See the difference? It's not about fighting the old thing, it's about creating the new thing.
Now, this all probably sounds pretty good, but let's be totally honest with ourselves. This is not easy. In fact, the book says that truly changing the way you think, your fundamental beliefs, that's the hardest work any human being can possibly do.
And this is exactly why it's so hard. It's one thing to think about being wealthy and successful when everything is going great. But to hold onto that thought of wealth when your reality, your bank account, your bills is screaming poverty right in your face, to believe in the truth of abundance regardless of what things look like on the surface, that takes real power. And according to the author, the person who can do that becomes a mastermind.
So, we'll leave it here. If the raw material for creating anything you want is truly infinite, and the one tool you need to shape it is your own thought, then the only real limit is what you choose to focus on. The power and the responsibility is all yours. So the real question isn't whether opportunity exists, it's what will you create?